I'm Michele Weir, and this is MichMusic Now. Welcome. We're here in my hotel room in Tokyo. I'm in the Shinjuku area, working with the Jazz Vocal Society Japan, doing some workshops on a variety of topics. We had a 110 voice vocal group the other day. That was really fun, singing vocal jazz, and they were nice enough to put me on the 34th floor, which I'm very happy about because, I get to see this beautiful view, and I'm really been enjoying that also. And today we're going to talk about vocal groups, specifically about that point in the evolution of your vocal group where you're transitioning from rehearsal mode to performance mode. It happens, it's inevitable, whether you're a professional group or whether you're a school-based ensemble, whether you're a singer, whether you're a director. There's a point where you need to shift gears from I'm rehearsing my notes, I'm looking at my music, I'm thinking, I'm planning, I'm going to the piano, I'm reading, etc., to I'm performing now. There's someone else in the room listening to me and listening to us, and we're a team, and we need to communicate something. We need to communicate an emotion. We need to communicate the text. We need to look like something. We need to deal with sound system and learning to balance and blend in the context of hearing ourselves through a monitor speaker. Or we need to deal with the rhythm section and learn how to feel the pocket and work with the rhythm section and all of the sonic things that go with that, like, wow, those drums are kind of loud. Now I can't hear myself as well, etc., etc. I think it's usually, I'm going to say maybe 65% into your, if you're a school group, into your semester that you're going to begin to make the transition to performance mode. I've learned some hard lessons in my life. I'm not currently a vocal group director, but I was directing the USC vocal jazz ensemble. I actually started that ensemble many years ago and taught there for, I think, about 7 years. And we had a regular ensemble there. I taught at Cal State Long Beach, directed ensembles there, took them to conferences like the IAJE conference years ago, and other schools, the Phil Manson School, etc., etc. So I have been there, and I know I've been through this process a bunch, and I hope there's something in my comments that are helpful for you, your students, or the ensemble that you sing with, the group that you sing with. So I'll talk about these ideas in sort of a checklist form, and number one is stop kibitzing and stopping to correct things all the time. Raise your hand if you stop the ensemble a lot, because I sure did. I'm kind of a picky perfectionist and just detail person, a super, super detail person. Perhaps you are also. And we have to stop kibitzing with all the details. And that's not to say that they're not things that can be fixed and should be fixed, but there comes a time when performance is right around the corner that we need to stop, or at least slow down, or at least handle it a different way, because performance is right around the corner. So we want to get all the singers in the group, or if you're in the group yourself, you want to get into the mindset of flow, of a longer term experience, not just singing, 45 seconds of the music, then stopping to correct. But you need to start thinking and living ahead in the arrangement and kind of, being in the arrangement in its entirety as you're performing, like sort of seeing the end game, even though you're really only at the beginning of the arrangement. In practical terms, that means, pondering ahead of time that difficult section at letter D that you all have rehearsed so long. It's coming up, you know how to handle it. You're sort of working toward that as you're going. The solos section, you're aware of what do you do, how do you shift the way you stand during the solo section while you're waiting, how do you want to be on stage. What happens at the end of the arrangement? What is the dynamic level? What are you working for? You want to be thinking big picture. And so, bottom line, stop kibitzing and let people sing through the chart all the way through it. Idea number 2, consider doing mini concerts. 1 or 2, or if you have time, do 3. Now, we're not talking about setting up a formal concert. We're talking about going into maybe another music class that meets at the same time your class does. Maybe the jazz band is rehearsing. Maybe you've got family that you can invite over or whatever, and just do 2 or 3 songs or more if you want, and get used to the idea that you're performing. Just that in itself gets the wheels turning in people's awareness in a different kind of way, and it forces you to go all the way through the piece without stopping, regardless of typhoon, earthquake, no matter what's happening in the world. You just, make a commitment to go all the way through the song, and it's really very helpful. Idea number 3 is to, video that mini performance and have everybody sit quietly, carefully, and listen, open their ears, and listen with their eyes also, and watch it, check it out, talk together. Pictures always worth 1,000 words, right? So people will just soak in a lot of information about what's really happening in their ensemble by observing the mini concert. And by the way, the mini concert could also be just in your room. In my past, at times, I will just do stupid, silly things like I used to draw faces on the chalkboard or the whiteboard with a happy face or a frowny face, and then have people practice singing to the faces and maintaining their, performance mode, demeanor while they're doing it, and also maintaining their focus of singing out to the people, not just into our little huddle as a vocal group. Number 4, this is applicable if you are a director at a school and you have a school ensemble. You want to, of course, get the students really invested in the ensemble. I mean, it's their ensemble. It's not your ensemble. It's not the school's ensemble. It's everybody's ensemble. You want to keep drawing in whatever creative ways you can awareness to that concept and get people invested. And one way to do that is to get them on board to invite family and friends to the concert. Family and friends, boy, nothing like upping the ante when people know that their friends and family are going to come and listen. So you can quantify it, find your own creative way to work with that. Maybe, set a goal. Everybody has 10 people there. It's not that you have to enforce it, handle it whatever way you want, but, just you want to get people to be invested that way. Number 5, if you're not already on sound system, get on sound system. Now, look, the reality is, in this day and age, especially if you're a school ensemble, high school, or even college ensemble, first of all, you guys are heroes, because we know that you're rehearsing, at 7:30 in the morning or 6 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning. I mean, really brutally early sometimes, because you do it before school. Or you do it at lunch many times. We know that that's not part of the normal class curriculum often these days. And so thank you for that. We know that it's hard to come by literature. We know you may have little or no budget for it, etc., etc. So regarding sound system, it could be that you don't even have a PA. And if you do, it may be located in another venue because a bunch of different classes use it, or it's permanently housed in the performance hall or whatever. But if possible, by hook or by crook, if possible, always, always, always rehearse on sound system about 75% of the time if you can. This is not an add-on to your ensemble. This is part of the ensemble. So do what you can, fight for it, go to bat for it, get, your parents' group or whatever to, start a GoFundMe for it. Really, college ensemble, why not? Start a GoFundMe campaign to buy you a sound system that you can use and have it in the rehearsal room, have a team of people that set it up every day, tear it down every day. It becomes routine. You want to be on mic all the time. We want to get so comfortable on mic, but because it's hard to learn how to blend and balance and tune, when you're hearing your voice, not just acoustically, but through those little, floor wedge monitor speakers. And it's something to get used to. So start being on sound as soon as possible. Then similarly, same deal, rehearse with rhythm section as soon as possible. They're an important part of the ensemble. They are not an add-on. They're not a, just the bells and whistle kind of thing. They're an important part of your ensemble, and you want to mentor them. You want them to come to play, with the same kind of subtleties that the vocal group sings with, in terms of dynamic contrasts, in terms of just everything, feeling the pocket in the same way that the singers are doing. I mean, the two really need to work together. The rhythm section players will need to come to understand that they're going to spend a little more time sitting around than they probably do in jazz band, because singers do need that kind of, hold on everybody, let's stop and, do some vertical step-by-step, chord-by-chord practice on this passage. But generally, you do want to get that flow with the rhythm section at least about 50% of the way into it, and then have the players come in regularly after that. And similarly, it's ideal if your sound reinforcement person comes in at least 30% of the time, as you're gearing up toward performance, to work with the singers, get familiar with where the solos are, handle EQ as needed and reverb. If just things like that, levels in the monitors, levels in the mains, etc. And number 7, we want to begin to bring our awareness back to the reason we started doing this music in the first place, and that is because we love it, and that is because it's an art music, and the idea is to communicate something, specifically communicate an emotion behind whatever the text is of the song. And, after we've rehearsed a ton, step by step, chord by chord, and all that, we need to be reminded of the soulful interest to communicate an emotion. And you can do that by, maybe you could put on a solo singer's version of that same song. Some really good solo that's inspiring. And everybody just listen. Or listen to a vocal group that does the arrangement that's really exciting or beautiful or whatever it is, but something inspirational that draws us back into, oh yeah, I love that. I love the arrangement. I love the musicality of it, and I want to sing with that same beauty and that same level of communication. Number 8 is to be a strong advocate to make sure you get enough sound check and mini rehearsal time in your performance venue. So I recommend you go to bat for this. It's worth going to bat for. You need 45 minutes at least, right? Just to make sure the gear is set up and you've tested it all adequately. You want to test each microphone. You want to test your monitor mix. You want to test the monitors for the rhythm section. You want to be an advocate for the fact that rhythm section needs monitors. Hello, they need to be able to hear also. If there isn't monitors, go to your dean, go to your principal, whatever it is. Rhythm section needs monitors. They need to be able to hear. You need to test the main speakers. You need to hear everybody playing and singing together and listen to it out in the house. Given the universal rule that everything goes longer than expected, know that the setup will not be ready when it was supposed to be ready, right? Probably. So then you build in fudge factor room for that. And after that, you want to have another 30 minutes to just sing through stuff. Sounds like a luxury, and maybe it is a luxury, but that would be the ideal in my humble opinion. Number 9 is to practice in rehearsal being in performance mode. When we're in performance mode, we sing with a certain kind of awareness that we're being watched, we're being listened to. So we want to adopt a posture of, I'm here to share this music with you. We love this music. We love you. We want to invite you into our space. And it's going to show up in the form of good posture. It's going to show up in the form of not slumping in between tunes. It's going to show up in the form of listening to people's solos, like having active listening, being engaged and staying engaged all the time. It will show up in the form of not, doing that or, adjusting something or whatever, but just always being aware that we can be organic and natural human beings on stage, yet sing with great composure and with awareness that someone's, watching us. And also singing with an intention to communicate, and that partly will translate to the way your face is and the way your body language is when you're singing the piece. And then finally, number 10, the more performances you can build in with your choir, the better. They can be super mini performances. As I say, go to other classrooms, sing a song or two, even if it has to be off mic and a cappella or whatever. Just doing that a little bit will be helpful. Do you have lunch? Do the students have lunch? Is there a cafeteria? Hey, perfect opportunity for a mini performance. Going to a church, going to a community center, who knows what, going to a retirement home, anything you can do to perform, and everybody's going to get way better quickly. Wishing you the best. I hope that was helpful for you. There are a number of other MichMusic Now videos having to do with vocal ensemble. I hope you check them out on the MichMusic Now YouTube channel. I also created a PDF download for you that's available. It's on my YouTube channel, MichMusic Michele Weir YouTube channel. Just click there and you can get this PDF download that gives you reminders of everything I talked about today. Yes, wishing you the best. Please do subscribe on YouTube. If you're going to do one thing, that would be probably the best thing to do. It will help get the word out to more people about the MichMusic Now videos. I appreciate that very much. And feel free to be in touch. I always love to hear from you. Make a comment. Tell me what you want more of or less of, and take care. See you next time.